They went in for Donnarumma 2.5 months ago, 3 months ago. They got in touch with Enzo Raiola, his agent. You don't contact Donnarumma's agent if you don't want a goalkeeper. Otherwise, this is just stupid. Why would you do this? So the fact that they got in touch with Donnarumma and maybe other goalkeepers or certainly their entourage shows you that they were clearly in for a goalkeeper, or certainly wanted to find out a bit more about some goalkeeper situation to see what they do. I don't think Amorim trusts Onana at all. I think Bayinde is an okay goalkeeper, but just about good enough to be a number 2 at a club like United. Just about. But unless you sell Onana, you can't bring in a goalkeeper now. And who's going to sign Andre Onana right now with 10 days to go in the transfer window? I'm not sure. So I thought Donnarumma would be great for them. I think they can afford him. But the problem is, unless Onana goes, they can't. I don't think it would be wise for them to sign another goalkeeper. And that's where the difficulty is for them. On top of that midfielder that they are still chasing, that they want to sign, or maybe not, because they might want to wait for Baleba another 6 months or another year. It's a little bit that uncertainty around what they do next, I think, is right up there. But for me, and Sunday showed it again, and what we saw from Onana last season, they need a better goalkeeper already, for sure.
I think also when you look before this window opened, a lot of the pundits and a lot of the experts says this is not a 1 window fix. This is a 3 or 4 transfer window fix. So maybe if they accept that, I know Manchester United fans will get excited because they've revamped their front 3, but then they got to be patient as well. And I think United fans might accept, because of the mistakes they've made in the past, that if there is that chance that Baleba can come, then it's going to be very difficult to bring in a midfielder now, because you might be spending the budget that would have helped you get Baleba next time. Just picking really up on what you said about Donnarumma, though, Julien, where do you see him ending up then? If United aren't going to sell any of their goalkeepers, which it doesn't look likely at the moment, I think you've spoken about Manchester City and the whole Ederson situation, which we'll come to Ederson in a moment, but where do you see him?
It can only be City. They're the only club in for him right now, which it sort of baffles me for many reasons. One, I don't know why other clubs like maybe an Inter Milan would want to go for Donnarumma, or even back in Italy, people, there are not many more better goalkeepers in the world right now than him anyway. And yet only Man City are kind of talking to his people and talking to PSG to see what's possible and how quickly they could do it. Which then leads us to, is he the right fit for Guardiola and Manchester City? And the answer is 100% that he isn't. This is not. But I don't want City fans to go after me or not. On his line, on those saves that we saw he made for PSG in the Champions League, he's the best in the world. Him and Courtois, there is no one better. I give you that, and that's great. And maybe that's enough for Guardiola to say, yes, I want him, and City fans will be excited and happy. However, everything that a goalkeeper has to do, the most important thing that a goalkeeper has to do for Pep Guardiola is being really good with the ball at his feet. We know that. Remember what happened to Joe Hart or Claudio Bravo or people like that. If you're not good with the ball at your feet, you're not a Guardiola goalkeeper. Donnarumma is not good. That makes me think, really, City, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to depend, of course, on Ederson as well. Interest from Turkey and Saudi Arabia. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the last few days, whether Ederson goes and then Donnarumma comes in. We've touched on City there. I just want to pick up very quickly on United and some of the potential outgoings there, Julien. Jadon Sancho, of course.
What is going on?
Well, we know that AS Roma are pushing to do that deal still. Gianpiero Gasperini is a really big fan of Jadon Sancho, and he's driving that deal. But I'm told it hasn't broken down on personal terms, but it looks like Sancho is looking at other options. Rasmus Hojlund as well, AC Milan desperately want to bring him in, but they want a loan with an option. Hojlund and United would prefer a permanent deal. I think Hojlund initially wanted to fight for his place at Manchester United, but I think he was given the message on Sunday loud and clear, not in the squad at all. And then, of course, there's Alejandro Garnacho, gap in valuation between Manchester United and Chelsea. And he's made it clear he only wants to go to Chelsea because Bayern Munich have come in and he has rejected their advances. So it'll be interesting to see again there because the focus definitely at Old Trafford is on departures. We talked there very briefly about Donnarumma, Ederson there, Julien, but City, everyone was very, very impressed and marvelling at the performance of Tierney Reinders there against Wolves. So a 3-word question, are City back?
Yeah, I think they are. I just think that Reinders, not just Reinders, but the transfer that they made this summer already, and I think more might come between now and the end of the window, outside of even Donnarumma, was very good. Reinders, what amazes me always, Dams, and you know, I know you in England you've got the best league in the world, and it's completely normal that you just watch the best league in the world. But it seems that a lot of people, a lot of City fans even, just didn't know anything about Reinders before the game on Sunday, when he has played in the Club World Cup, when he played really well against Palermo in the only friendly that they had before the start of the season, and then people almost discovering Tierney Reinders in that game against Wolves, where he's been doing that for Milan last year. He was